Dear learners, you are all welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to speak about the key questions from the social science subject which makes your preparation more easier. So 21 chapters feels like a burden for the preparation for the examination in the social science. Whereas now it will become easy when we go through what concepts and what content must study and what is the weightage given to it. If it is revealed, if we break through it, then it will be more easier for the students or for the learners to prepare for their examination in our subject social science. So let us start from the history. So history is having 20 marks, in which the 2 marks is reserved for the map. As you all know, map it is from the nationalism in India chapter. From the nationalism in India chapter, it is 2 marks for the map. Let us take the rise of nationalism in Europe chapter. So Frederick's review painting, often asked for 3 marks or for multiple choice question, and Civil Code of 1804, which was introduced by Napoleon, which is also known as Napoleonic Code, can be asked for 3 marks question or 2 marks question. Problem of Balkan region, it is also a 3 mark or 2 marks question. So moving into the long questions, sense of collective identity, which was developed during the French Revolution, can be expected for 5 marks. And the era of romanticism, that means how culture contributed for the evoke of national spirit. So this is another 5 marks question. Very important 5 marks question. Unification of Germany and unification of Italy. The role played by Ottoman Bismarck in the unification of Germany and the role played by Giuseppe Garibaldi in the unification of Italy. These are the 5 marks questions which you can expect from this chapter, the rise of nationalism in Europe. And sometimes even the Treaty of Vienna can be asked for 5 marks question. So what are the outcomes of the Treaty of Vienna? It's another 5 marks question which we can expect from the rise of nationalism in Europe. So concentrate on these 5 marks question. Even it helps you for attending the multiple choice from this chapter. And moving into the minor concepts, July Revolution, Peasants' Revolt of 1848, and Weavers' Revolt at Silesia, Strange Case of Britain, Zolverins, and Greek War of Independence, Treaty of Constantinople. So these are all minor questions can be expected from these concepts. That is, multiple choice question can be expected from these concepts which I said: July Revolution, Weavers' Revolt, Peasants' Revolt, Greek War of Independence. So please concentrate to catch the multiple choice question from those corners. And even the picture study is going to expect from this chapter, rise of nationalism in India. So key pictures which are given in the chapter in your textbook in the rise of nationalism in Europe, please go through it once, read the lines below the pictures given. So if you read and recall it, it's enough. If any picture study is asked from this chapter in multiple choice section, you can answer. So moving into the next, that is nationalism in India, very important chapter which is having more weightage among the history chapters. So this chapter, 3 marks question we can expect from the impact of World War I on the Indian polity and economy. And another 3 marks question we can expect, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. And another 3 marks question you can expect, the Rowlatt Act and Rowlatt Satyagraha. Regarding these concepts which comes in the initial part of the chapter, we can expect the 3 marks and 2 marks questions. And Khilafat issue is very important for 2 marks and multiple choice question. Main content in this chapter is non-cooperation movement. So regarding the non-cooperation movement, compulsory the question will come in your board examination. So how do the different groups of people they participated in the non-cooperation movement, and what was the reaction by the British So let us see which are the different groups participated in the non-cooperation movement, that is middle class in the cities and towns, tribals and the peasants in the countryside, and plantational workers. These are all expected question for the 2 and 3 marks. So the non-cooperation movement, how non-cooperation movement gradually turned into violence is the another 3 marks question which we can expect. So overall, non-cooperation movement is a very important concept from the nationalism in India. So definitely one 3 mark or in the 5 mark section must question will be there from the non-cooperation movement from the nationalism in India chapter. So another national movement is given, that is civil disobedience movement. Here, which are the incidents laid foundation for the civil disobedience movement is the question which we can expect. And what were the limitations of the civil disobedience movement, or why civil disobedience movement got failed when it is launched for the second time by Gandhiji. And salt march is the very important salt march or salt satyagraha, or it is also known as Dandi march. So this concept is very important from the civil disobedience movement part of nationalism in India chapter. And here, apart from this, in the civil disobedience movement, how the different groups of people they participated in the civil disobedience movement, rich peasants and poor peasants in the countryside, and industrialists and industrial workers in the cities and towns, and even the women participation in the civil disobedience movement. These are all 2 marks and 1 marks questions. Gandhiji and his initiatives to eradicate the untouchability can be expected for multiple choice, and for the 2 mark section questions can be asked from this chapter. So map we need to remember, it is from the nationalism in India. And moving into the next chapter, that is making of global world, which is a minor chapter from the social science. Here different travelers, who were the different travelers and things they carried along with them, and why did they travel. So different travelers, who are those travelers, you need to know why they traveled across the globe, you need to know, and what are the things they carried along with them. So these are all 2 marks question. And silk routes and its significance is the one of the important questions from this chapter. Silk routes and its significance for the 3 marks. And we need to know the Spanish conquest of America with the help of the germs and diseases. So that is the 3 marks question. And another 2 marks question, trade and culture go in hand. So that is related to this chapter, how trade and culture go hand in hand. So that is from this chapter. And why did Europeans they migrated for the newly found land America? That is the another 2 marks question we can expect. And the shift of global center from Asia to Europe. So what were the reasons for the downfall of Asia at the end of the pre-modern world? So the global trading center was shifted from Asia to Europe. So reasons you have to know. So those are all 2 marks and 1 marks questions from this chapter, the making of global world. Another very important chapter for 3 marks question, it is print and modern world, print culture and modern world. In this chapter, hand print technology, that is from China, accordion books were printed there, and what were the printing materials. So these are all 2 marks question and 1 marks question from this print culture and modern world. And Japan, Buddhist missionaries carried the printing technology to Japan. And paper money, unique art, that is Kitagawa Utamaro's unique art, that is related to the Japan in this chapter, print culture and modern world. You have to remember that name, Kitagawa Utamaro. Ukiyo art, very important. So those are all multiple choice question and 1 marks question. So usually in the MCQs related to accordion book, Buddhist Diamond Sutra. So these books name in the one column, and in the another column they give the country name to match in the multiple choice questions. And how print was just shifted from from China to Europe. Marco Polo carried it. So these are all 1 mark question you need to know. And here very important related to the print media culture is print culture and French Revolution. What was the impact of print culture on the French Revolution is the 3 marks question which we can expect from this chapter, print culture and modern world. And coming into the print and Europe, religious debates. So 1 marks questions are more in this corner. So you have to remember King Martin Luther and his statements. So those things are very important. So books and names, those are all very important 1 marks question which comes from this print culture and modern world. 3 marks it is the impact of print culture on the French Revolution. It's a must question or very important question. And how the print culture influenced the women in the Europe. So those names, Bronte sister, George Eliot, so those names you have to recall. Apart from that, further innovations, how printing got developed in the Europe, Richard Poe, these are all 1 marks question. MCQs corner, assertion and reasoning questions can be expected from the print culture and modern world chapter. And moving into the next, print culture and India. So when you come to India, how the print culture influenced the religious debates in our country India, that religious reformation and the newspapers names and the leaders names, social reformers names, that you have to recapitulate for the purpose of 1 marks. And here women and print in India. So many women they expressed the women's status of those days through the novel and through the books. So those to recapitulate, it is a 3 marks question, women and print in India. And we need to look into the vernacular press act of 1878 which can be asked for 1 or 2 marks. Apart from that, from this chapter you can expect picture study. So pictures are just in your textbook, so go through those pictures. Once you recapitulate those pictures, read the lines below the pictures, just you recall it, it's enough. So when it is asked in the multiple choice question, you can easily answer. So picture study, it is from the rise of nationalism in Europe and print culture and modern world. Very rarely they ask it from nationalism in India, whereas these 2 chapters must concentrate for the picture studies. So next we will move into the another segment of your social science, that is economics. So economics first chapter, development. So very easy chapter which is having 2 marks and 1 marks question in it. So what are the characteristics of developed countries is a 2 marks question. Income and other goals other than materialistic thing, money, what are all the things required to live a happy life. So those are all 2 marks question. And very important, why Middle East countries are not recognized as developed country in spite of having higher income, because other non-materialistic things like freedom, job security, those are all, and social life of human, those are all just fallen back in those countries, in the Middle East countries. So that question is very important. And comparison between the countries by using the Human Development Index. So Human Development Index is a 3 marks question from this chapter, or sometimes it will be asked for 2 marks. And we need to know about the per capita income and body mass index, how it is calculated. Often it is asked for multiple choice. And sustainable development, which examples you have to know. What are the importance of, what is meant by sustainable development, and what are the importance of the sustainable development. So that's it to cover from this chapter, development. So next we need to go to the sectors of Indian economy. 5 marks question is expected from this chapter. What are the key concepts to be covered in the sectors of Indian economy? Means rising importance of tertiary sector. There are few factors which contributed for the development of the tertiary sector in our country, India. So that is a 5 marks question. And we need to know the uniqueness of the tertiary sector, importance of tertiary sector in the economic progress of the country. That is the another 3 marks or 5 marks question. And what are the different ways followed by government to generate the employment in the rural India? That is the another question you can expect from this chapter, sectors of Indian economy. And what is the interconnection between the 3 economic sectors? Very important. For this you need to give example while writing the answer. And 2 marks question, like what is the difference between intermediate goods and final goods, and what are the difference between organized sector laborers and inorganized sector laborers, and what are the disadvantages faced by the unorganized sector labor. Sorry, it is what are the disadvantages faced by unorganized sector labor. Okay, and we need to look into the difference between public sector and private sector with examples. So these are all 2 marks question. So problems faced by unorganized sector laborers, the difference between organized and unorganized sector laborers, and public and private sector, difference between public and private sector. These are all 2 marks and 1 marks question from this chapter, sectors of Indian economy. For 5 marks, concentrate on the importance of tertiary sector and the contribution of tertiary sector in the economic development. Those are the 2 5 marks questions from this chapter, sectors of Indian economy. Moving into the next, money and credit chapter, very key chapter. Definitely the 5 marks is going to come from this chapter. Let me throw light on the 5 marks itself first. Self-help groups. Self-help groups are the 5 marks question. How it is contributing for the empowerment of women. And another question for the 5 marks here from the money and credit, we can expect the functions of RBI. Often functions of RBI is asked for even for what? Even for 3 marks, and sometimes it is asked for 5 marks. So let us see the other 5 marks question. Terms and conditions of formal credit. So what are the terms and conditions of the formal credit is the another question which we can expect for 3 marks from this money and credit chapter. Difference between formal credit sector and informal credit sector is another key question which may come from the money and credit chapter. And as I already said, SHGs are very important. And moving into the minor questions, different situations of the credit. So 2 cases are given in your textbook, Sapna's case and Salim case. So positive effect of the credit and negative effect of the credit. So that you have to go through once for the multiple choice question. See, overall in the economics, analytical questions will come. By analyzing the data, you need to answer that we call as analytical question. Such questions are there in the multiple choice section. So overall, from the development chapter, that is related to the HDI Haryana, Bihar and Kerala, that box is there, no? Regarding that, the analytical question may come from development chapter. So analytical question, it is overall from economics. So let us come back to money and credit chapter. I was just going through it, and for 2 marks we need to know the what is meant by checks, demand drafts, double coincidence of wants, and making of currencies. So these are all very important. And we also need to know about the functions of banks. So different functions of banks can be asked for 2 marks or for the 3 marks from this chapter. And even we need to know about the overall from this chapter we need to know about the different credit facilities in the rural India. That is another 2 marks question which we can expect from the money and credit chapter. So overall we can expect a major question from the economics. It is from the money and credit chapter. So please you must concentrate more on the money and credit chapter in the economics section. So sectors of Indian economy and money and credit are the two key chapters in the economics. Okay, let us move to the very minor and small chapter, that is globalization and Indian economy. So this is the another chapter which is from your economics. So we need to know about the meaning of globalization and factors influencing globalization. That's it in this chapter. So what are the key factors influencing the globalization? Number one, technology, transportation, IT, information technology, and liberalization. So these factors influencing the globalization and what is meant by globalization. So these are the two concepts which we need to cover from this chapter, globalization and Indian economy. So let us move to the next part of your social science, that is geography. So even geography carries 20 marks as the history, economics carries the same. Even the political science also same, all the segments of the social science carries equal weightage of 20 marks. So among this 23 marks, it is reserved for math. Here the number of chapters is quite large in the geography, but it is very easy compared to the history, economics and political science. Sustainable development and its significance from the resources and development chapter. So the concept is overlapped with the development. So sustainable development is there in both the chapter resources and development chapter. So that you need to know for the 3 marks purpose. So resources planning in India, that is another 3 marks question which we need to explain along with the example. So land, related to land resource, what are the reasons for the degradation of the land resource, we need to know. And about the soil erosion, reasons, effects and measures to conserve the soil erosion, that is the another question. These are all 2 and 3 marks question. And different types of resources and its example is very important for the purpose of multiple choice questions. MCQs can be expected from the different types of resources and its examples are very important for it. Moving into the different types of soil, alluvial soil, black soil are very important for the 3 marks question. Remaining soils are there now. We need to know the unique features for laterite soil, aride soil. We need to know the unique feature which can be asked in the multiple choice section. So overall in this chapter regarding the resources degradation, what are the reasons for the degradation of the resources, what are the measures to overcome the same, it's very important. And land utilization pattern. So different land utilization pattern is very important to know for the purpose of multiple choice question. So that's it regarding the resources and development chapter. Moving into the conservation of forest and wildlife, very important chapter for 2 marks and 1 marks questions. So what are the key concepts to be covered? Project Tiger is very important. So regarding the Project Tiger, you need to know community and conservation. So community and conservation, often they ask for 2 marks. Examples are given in your textbook, go through it once. And we should also know about the types and distribution of forest. There are 3 types of forest and its distribution should be known for us. And we should also know about the division of species. Those are all 1 marks question, and rarely they may ask even this chapter for 2 marks. So community conservation, Project Tiger, types of forest and distribution of forest are the must content to be covered from the chapter conservation of forest and wildlife. Okay, Next it is chapter 3, water resources. So under the water resources, what are the important concepts to be covered? Reasons for scarcity of water in our country India, it's a 2 marks question. Why we need to conserve the water resources, that is the another 2 marks question. And hydraulic structures in the ancient India, some examples are given in your text in this chapter, water resources, which we need to know for the multiple choice. And multi-purpose river valley project is the main question which comes from this chapter for 3 marks. What are the advantages of the multi-purpose river valley project and what are the disadvantages of the multi-purpose river valley project? Advantages and disadvantages of the multi-purpose river valley project. So it's very important to know about the multi-purpose river valley project advantages and disadvantages. It's going to be a main question from the chapter. And rainwater harvesting method. So which are the states following it? Related to that you need to know for the 2 marks and 1 marks question. And moving into the next, it is agriculture chapter, very important chapter among the geography. It is having 5 marks weightage question. What is the 5 marks question from this chapter? Means technological and institutional development. So after independence, India given more priority for the agriculture. In its first 5-year plan itself, it given priority for the agriculture. So many institutional developments and technological developments are taken in India in the post-independence era. It is very important from this chapter for the 5 marks. And moving into the next, the impact of globalization in agriculture is the another concept we need to cover from this agriculture chapter. Types of farming, cropping pattern is very important. So in India, cropping pattern is based upon the seasons. So regarding the 2 marks question can be expected. And which are the major crops grown in India? What are the climatic conditions required for it? Regarding that 2 marks and 3 marks question can be expected. Whereas pulses is very important. So regarding the pulses we need to concentrate in this chapter. So the uses of oil seeds is the another question which comes from this chapter for 2 marks. And we need to know about the plantational crops like coffee, rubber and tea. So these crops, what are the climatic conditions required for the growing of these crops, we need to know once. And we should know about the, what about the silk and cotton, about its climate, what are the climatic conditions required for growing the silk and cotton, what is the procedure to wear the silk. So those things are thrown light in your textbook. So those are the important concepts for the 2 marks purpose. Whereas for 5 marks, technological and institutional development in the post-independent India is very important from the agriculture chapter. Moving into the next, minerals and energy resources chapter. So you can expect even the 5 marks question from this chapter. So looking into the 5 marks, hazards of mining and measures to overcome the hazards. So hazards of mining and measures to overcome the hazards is the 5 marks question from the mineral and resources chapter. Conservation of mineral resources, conservation of energy resources, and the question arises why we need to conserve the energy resources, why we need to conserve the mineral resources. These are all 3 marks and 5 marks questions. Please do concentrate on these questions. And iron ore belts in India should be known. 4 iron ore belts are there. So we need to know which are those 4 iron ore belts. And classification of minerals with examples we have to know. And usage of the bauxite, usage of copper, usage of mica. These are all 1 mark and 2 marks question. And we need to know about the coal, very important. What are the classification of coal? That is based upon what? Based upon quality and age. Related to that, multiple choice questions can be expected. And regarding the petroleum, mode of extraction of the petroleum, mode of occurrence of the petroleum we need to know for the 2 marks, and different types of electricity, that is hydroelectric electricity, and what it is, electricity generated from the windmills. So related these things, 2 marks and multiple choice question may come. Please go through those content once. And what are the advantages of the solar energy for the rural India? That is another 2 marks question which we need to expect. And tidal energy and its generation. So how tidal energy is going to generate it? That is the another 2 marks question which we need to expect. And geothermal energy, and which are the point in India, which are the geographical point in India where do they extract the geothermal energy, that we need to know for the MCQs. So moving into the next chapter, that is manufacturing industries. So manufacturing industries is the another chapter from your geography, whereas this lifelines of economy I have written, no, it is only for the purpose of marking what? Marking maps. Only for the purpose of marking maps it is lifelines of economy, whereas manufacturing industries, question and answers are very important. So what are the key concepts to be covered? Industries, meaning and ideal locations for the establishment of industry, it is a 3 marks question. Localization of industry is a 3 marks question. Industrial pollution and measures to eradicate such pollution. So industry creates noise pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, okay, sound pollution. So what are the measures to overcome these pollutions? So we need to know what are the pollutions created by industries and what are the measures to overcome the pollutions. And we need to know about the economic importance of industries for the purpose of 2 and 3 marks question. And we need to know why cotton industries are more concentrated in the Gujarat and Maharashtra, and why sugar industries are shifting from north to south India. So these are all unique questions from this chapter. These are all 2 marks question. And why jute industries are more concentrated in the West Bengal, that is on the Hooghly river basin, that we need to know. And we need to know about the raw materials used in the cement industry, that is the 2 marks question. We need to know the examples for the examples for fertilizer industry and automobile industry in our country, India. It can be asked for multiple choice or in the 2 marks question. Rarely it comes for 2 marks. So the examples must be known from the fertilizers and chemical industries and from the automobile industry. If you know the general examples, it will be easy to identify if question comes in the multiple choice section. So moving into the last part of the social science, that is political science, which carries 20 marks as other branches carries. So power sharing is the chapter which carries 2 and 3 marks question in it. So two parallel stories are given, no? Story of Belgium and story of Sri Lanka. These 2 stories broadly you have to know, because it can be used as examples to write the answers for the major questions from political parties and outcomes of democracy. Know the stories from this chapter, power sharing and forms of power sharing. 4 forms of power sharing are there, that is 2 marks or 3 marks question. And moving into the federalism, it is very important. So what are the key features of federalism? 2 roots of federalism, holding together and coming together. We need to know the example for the holding together and coming together type of federal system. And 3 lists with reference to India. When we come to practice of federalism in India, no, 3 lists are there: union list, state list and concurrent list. Related to this, we need to know for the purpose of attending the multiple choice and 2 marks question. In this chapter, the main question may come from the India and its practice of federal system, that is linguistic states, language policy, and center and state relationship. Yeah, linguistic states, language policy, center and state relationship. So these are the way how India is following the federalism. This may be the major question from this chapter. And moving into the next now, difference between unitary form and federal form. So what is the difference between unitary form of government and federal form of government is the another 2 marks question which we can expect from the federalism. And very important, decentralization of power after 1992, the local self-governments are established in our federal setup. So necessary amendments are done. So it's another very important concept to be covered for the 3 marks and 5 marks purpose from the federalism chapter. Moving into the gender, religion and caste, when we take the term gender, feminist movements are very important, and the women's representation in the political sphere of life is another important question. And another question related to the gender, what are the discrimination faced by women with reference to the patriarchal society, we need to know from the chapter gender, religion and caste. So after gender, religion is very important. Under the religion, communalism, what is the impact of communalism in politics is the 2 marks question. Very important question in the religion, that is secularism. What it is? Secularism. How India is practicing secularism is very important. So what are the constitutional provisions of secularism in our country, India? It's the 3 marks question which is from this chapter, gender, religion and caste. So moving into the last, caste, related to caste in politics, how caste is influencing the politics, whether the caste is only criteria to win the election. So these are all 2 marks question. And how politics is influencing caste. Politics is influencing caste in both positive way and in the negative way. So these are all 2 marks questions from this chapter. Very important 2 chapters in the political science are political parties and outcomes of democracies. Political parties, very important chapter, functions of political parties, necessity of political parties are 3 marks question, and what are the criteria to recognize the political party as the national party or as the state party? It's the 2 marks question. And very important 5 marks question from this chapter is challenges faced by political parties and measures to overcome the same. So what are the challenges faced by political parties and what are the measures to overcome the challenges facing by the political parties is often asked 5 marks question from the chapter political parties. That's it to speak about this lesson, political parties. And last chapter, that is outcomes of democracy. It is also having 5 marks weightage question. So 2 concepts we need to know in order to write the general answer from this chapter, that is merits of democracy and demerits of democracy. So if you know the merits and demerits of democracy, you can make the points according to the question asked from this chapter, outcomes of democracy. So here, accommodation of social diversity. So how democracy accommodates the social diversity, that is the 2 marks question. So at last to say, at last to say about the outcomes of democracy, as I said, merits and demerits of democracy are very important. If you know the merits and demerits, you can make out the points for almost all the questions which is asked from this chapter, outcomes of democracy. Along with that, accommodation of social diversity is the another important question from the outcomes of democracy. Why democratic form of government is better than the other forms of government is the another 3 marks question which you can expect from this chapter, outcomes of democracy. Apart from this, in the political science, picture study is there from the political parties chapter. So once you go through the political parties chapter, for the picture study. So picture study usually it is from history or from political science. Rarely it is from political science, especially from political parties it may be asked, whereas from the history it is compulsory. So that's it to speak regarding the key questions and concepts in the social science. This video is definitely going to help for your preparation in our subject social science. So if you concentrate accordingly the weightage of the concepts in the social science, so it will be easy for you to score the maximum marks. So now social science is not a burden. Scoring 95 plus is very easy. So only thing you need to know the weightage like this. After knowing the weightage for each and every concepts and what are the concepts to be studied at what weightage, it will become easy for you to prepare thoroughly. So in my upcoming videos, I am going to speak about how to present the answer in our social science, especially for the 2 marks, for the 3 marks and for the 5 marks. So that video is going to help you to present the answer in a unique way and to flex the maximum marks. So by saying this, let me conclude the video here. I hope this video is going to be fruitful for you in your preparation. So stay connected, do subscribe my channel and keep following for the upcoming videos. The time is running fast. The board exams are soon approaching. So get the maximum benefits. Are soon approaching. So stay connected and keep on preparing. Follow my channel, do subscribe and let me meet you in my next video. Thank you one and all. Keep learning sharp. Thank you.